The EU also says that if Israel takes more land, it risks stopping any attempt to end the current conflict. Why doesn't Israel seem interested in ending the conflict? Here's what the public opinion tells us.
It's kind of a hard question because
I guess ending the current conflict.
When you say Israel, I don't think you're really talking about everyone in Israel. I think you're talking perhaps about the leadership of Israel now under Benjamin Netanyahu. I think many Israelis would like to end the conflict. Our friends in Israel are very much pro two states and have lots of Palestinian friends and lots of sympathy and don't want the occupation to continue.
Human rights are subservient to geopolitical and real political interests at the end of the day.
Was quoted in Haaretz admitting the thesis that the danger of genocide was hanging over us in June 1967 and that Israel was fighting for its physical existence is only a bluff. The colonial superpower charged at lightning speed, showering the land with napalm. In less than a week, close to 40,000 Arabs were killed, many of them civilians in crowded cities that were firebombed and overrun by Israeli tanks. At the end of those 6 days, a new map emerged, closer to the greater Israel that the Zionists had always dreamed about. They conquered the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt, the Golan Heights of Syria, and the rest of Palestine. Another 300,000 Palestinians were made refugees during that short time. Many of them had already been made refugees once before, during the Nakba. While they had to ultimately return the Sinai to Egypt, the territory that Israel seized in this war remains under their control today. The map shows the existence of Palestinian territory. All of it is still subject to Israeli military occupation and law. Hundreds more legal settlements have also chewed holes in the map, reducing actual Palestinian landmass to almost nothing.
Trump is an opportunity for Israel because the era of a Palestinian state is over. President Trump said last week he doesn't mind the idea of a one-state rather than a two-state solution. Is that your view too?
Well, there already exist two states for the Palestinians. One in Gaza, a full-blown state run by Hamas, and the other is Jordan, where 70% of the citizens are indeed Palestinians. So the discussion is whether we need a third Palestinian state smack in the heart of Israel, and the answer is no. We need to strengthen Israel and create regional peace based on a common interest, which is to fight against radical Iran, which is out to create a hegemony in the region.
Well, of course, no one in the world agrees with you that Gaza and Jordan are Palestinian states. In fact, the United Nations says Gaza is still officially occupied by Israel. But let's just focus on this one state that does exist right now in that area, specifically the state of Israel, which you're a minister of, representative of. Isn't the real question that if there is just one state left standing in that particular patch of land, should it be a state in which Jews and Palestinians live side by side as equal citizens, or should it be a state in which Jewish citizens are privileged over Palestinian citizens, while millions of other Palestinians remain under occupation without a right to self-determination?
Peacekeepers are accused of betraying the trust of some of the world's most vulnerable people.
At night it was very cold, and the man offered my son a pill, claiming it would warm him. It took my son 5 minutes to fall asleep. Then the soldier violated him.
It's the story of children being abused and of a culture of impunity.
In July 2014, I informed the French government about allegations of French soldiers abusing children in Central African Republic. 9 months after that, I was asked by the UN leadership to resign, and when I refused to resign, I was forced out.
At the UN offices in Geneva, Compass approached the country whose soldiers were the first to be accused of abuse. He leaked the report to the French, prompting them to start an official investigation. The UN was furious, claiming his action potentially endangered children.
I was asked to resign for having given this report, and the accusation was that I had abused my authority.
The alleged abuse continued. A year after Anders Compass alerted the authorities, this 14-year-old was approached by a soldier from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Her father was killed in the war, and her mother was ill and couldn't feed her children.
Hunger drove my daughter to see the soldier. She was invited to eat. Afterwards, he took her virginity.
A group of US analysts say activity at a North Korean nuclear test site suggests ongoing preparations for a new test. The researchers at Johns Hopkins University on Friday posted a study of satellite imagery of the Punggye-ri site in North Hamgyong province. It was taken on February 18th. North Korea conducted its 5th nuclear test at the location last September. The researchers say imagery of the facility's north portal shows changes in the location of equipment or supplies. The portal is believed to have been used in previous experiments. The researchers say that along with changes in the patterns of a tailings pile, the activity suggests continued preparations for a nuclear test. They say it's unclear when such an experiment might take place, but the North could probably move quickly if it wishes to.
It's one of the deadliest chemical agents ever created. Within seconds of exposure, symptoms of nausea and convulsions take over. Without emergency treatment, paralysis, respiratory failure, and death can occur within minutes. This deadly killer is the nerve agent VX.
Weapon VX. Classification organophosphate. Lethal dose 30 micrograms.
There are no confirmed cases of VX being used on people, but it's widely believed that during Saddam Hussein's chemical attack against the Kurds in 1988, VX was dispersed with deadly results. The attack on the Kurds killed over 5,000.
Moving on to other stories now, police in Malaysia revealed traces of VX nerve agent were found on the body of the man believed to be North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's half-brother. The discovery of the deadly chemical almost certainly proves he was murdered.
This woman is a suspected assassin. She was caught on security camera at Kuala Lumpur's airport, wearing a shirt ironically emblazoned with the letters LOL. She and a second woman are suspected of attacking Kim Jong-nam, the exiled half-brother of North Korea's dictator. Police say 2 women threw a cloth laced with liquid, potentially poison, on his face Monday. He died en route to the hospital. One place you won't hear about the murder, North Korea, where leader Kim Jong-un is busy marking the 75th birthday of his late father, Kim Jong-il. Analysts say the young dictator may have ordered the hit on his brother. He's already purged dozens of top officials, including his uncle, to exert his authority.
Ultimately, this is about power inside North Korea.
Foreign affairs analyst Ken Gause wrote a book on Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un may now feel emboldened to take the last steps toward consolidation of power, which would include getting rid of his brother.
Kim Jong-nam was once the country's heir apparent. From exile, he criticized his younger brother. South Korean officials say Kim Jong-nam survived an assassination attempt in 2012 and wrote a letter to his brother begging for leniency. If North Korea did in fact order his murder, it may indicate growing instability.
Why has it taken North Korea so long to finally carry out this execution? That would suggest to me that there has been some triggering factor either inside North Korea or outside North Korea that has led to this.
Nowhere else to turn to, they seek sanctuary at this church in Ismailia in northeastern Egypt. Entire families have left the town of El Arish in Sinai, fearing for their lives.
The situation there is way worse than in Iraq and Syria. We've become scared of our own shadows. We look around us and behind us. We're scared that someone might be walking behind us and shoot us.
I have 5 children. My husband hasn't been able to earn a penny in 3 months. Every day we hear about someone who was shot or killed.
Many here say they left because of a threat made by an ISIL affiliate in Egypt. The armed group released a video this week saying it would step up attacks against cops. A spate of killings has sent panic across the minority Christian community.
Saturday. What's the date? February 25th, 2017. Got some military vehicles on a train heavily coming through Baker County, McClenny, Florida, right out of Jacksonville. Bunch of trailers, bunch of tankers.